Hey guys, another little project here, or maybe a little bit bigger than little project. Today we're going to replace the speakers in the front of the Grenadier. One of the issues I've found is that all the sound appears to be coming from down below. I'm not some audio freak who's really into music as such, but I do find it fairly average, the quality of the sound. So after having spent quite a bit of time with the guys at Autobahn and talking about the various speaker options, I've decided to go for something a little bit cheaper than the average. I suppose we could have gone with big amplifiers and subwoofers and replacing all the speakers. However, we've decided to go for these Hertz speakers. They have a little crossover that we've got to find a space for the speaker. I would say they'll probably go somewhere near the footwell on the lower half. You then get your speaker, and this one's still in the pack. Let's take it out. Sorry, trying to do this two hands. So they're the little speakers. And as you can see, that's just a single cone, so that's your mid-range and woofer. And then they come with these little tweeters, and you get these little backings for them. They're angled so that you can put them up on the pillar. So I'm sort of thinking to get these fitted up somewhere on the pillar up top, or maybe down the bottom. I haven't quite decided yet. I've started pulling this one apart, this door, and the door is quite interesting. There are quite a few screws. The trim that fits over the handle here, you've got to take that off, and there's a screw there and screw there. There's one at the back here, and then you'll find that there's another screw at the bottom, and I think that's, and one more screw behind the plate on the door handle. Once you get those off, you can literally pry that loose at the bottom, and I've trial fitted the first speaker here into the existing hole, and it fitted up, and I'll show you in a moment on the other side how we've transferred the original cabling from one speaker onto the next. Okay, after a little bit of mucking around, we've taken the left side, or passenger side in Australia, footwell out, a few screws there, a couple of nuts as well to get everything out, and that exposes all the cabling as it comes in. The plug at the back here is the one that holds the speaker cables, and we are looking for the which one was it? Green and gold and the blue and purple cables for the speaker. So there's the blue and purple, and then there's the yellow and gold right next to it. So it's the middle two in the screen here that we're going to have to use. We're then going to have to find a spot for the crossover to be fitted, and I think there might be a little bit of space up top there. It is all fairly tight in there, and we're going to have to extend those cables so that that can go in. You look at the crossover itself, it's quite simple. The far left is positive and negative in, Then the middle ones is the woofer, which is going back to the door, and then the tweeter, which will be mounted later on up top on the far right. So it is a fairly straightforward. The only other thing, the tweeter level, you can set to positive 3 dB or 0 dB, and according to the advice I was given, you should set that one to positive 3 dB, and I'll give you a bit more oomph into the tweeter. Alright, we'll try and get all this mounted and come back a little bit later. Okay, step one, we have cut the yellow and green and purple and blue cable. The yellow and green representing the negative, so I've used some blue connectors for that and some red ones for the positive, and that made a small speaker cable extension going to the input of the crossover, and now we're going to extend the speaker cables just so that we can comfortably mount it up higher without stretching things too much. And of course these we won't leave anything exposed, that will be taped up properly before we tuck it away. Okay, that's the loop through completed. So we now have from the plug going back to the input of the crossover, and then back to the speaker that was in the door, or is in the door, to the woofer plus and minus. So we've made a couple of small extensions. So now it's time to find the location for the tweeter. So to run the cable is going to be fairly simple. What may not be so simple is to figure out where we're going to put it. And it comes with this nice little mount, and I've taken the door handle or the grab handle off already and loosened that, and I think the ideal position for this one is going to be right here on that corner, making sure that it stays away from the window so we don't end up with any resonance coming off that. And I think we'll now take all that whole piece out and drill through and get the cables through. The tweeter will fit in very nicely into that, and I think when that's sitting here, be just about the right position for it. I'm very much reluctant to put anything through the blacktop here, especially since there's airbags involved and all that, so I want to stay well clear of that. So this there's no airbag in the pillar, so that's a good thing for mounting this little tweeter, and I think that's going to be the nice position. It'll be sort of facing straight to you, and hopefully they'll work out to be the best sound. I just can't see how it's going to work. We could have put it up a little bit higher in the top of the pillar. I'm not overly keen to do that, so I think down below it's going to be nice. There's a little bit of a bevel sort of edge there, and I think they'll mount really nicely. Alright, see how we go with that. Okay, the little tweeter has been fitted up onto the mount. We have used a little bit of hot glue underneath and a couple of screws to get it in, and then just trying to turn this around. The two screws that come out, I've used some hot glue and a cable tie, or first a cable tie and then hot glued over the top, just to make sure that none of this is going to move, and also that the actual tweeter doesn't have to carry the weight of the cable hanging down, because I have used a fairly heavy cable, and it is professional audio cable that's used for concert type stuff. Way overkill for what we're doing here, especially when you compare that to the cable on the actual tweeter. But that's it there, mounted up. Now we're going to stick that back in the car and see how that comes up. Okay, here it is, put back in place. The audio cable is going down all the way down there. Haven't done that part yet, but that's it here. Time to put the handle back on, get all that put back in place, make the final connections onto the crossover, and then we'll see how we go. Right, that's all connections made. The tweeter is connected, the woofer mid-range is connected, and the input is connected. The plug's gone back into the back socket, so that's all done. I've run all the cables behind the release cable of the bonnet, and now it's a matter of putting everything back together, put the cover on the actual unit. So I'm trying to do that single-handed, and that will now fit very neatly up the top, and I'll show that in a moment. Okay, step one to gain access to the original speaker, remove that and put the new speaker in. We need to get rid of the door trim now. This can be a little bit tricky if you don't know. There's a plate in behind the door handle there. That's got to come off. There'll be a screw behind that. Then on the side of the door, there's another screw that needs to be taken out. And then right at the bottom, there's another screw right at the bottom there that needs to come out. Then we also, to get all the trim out, the actual scutcheon or whatever they call it, that foamy bit on the side here, that needs to come out. Now, from having done this before, the rear end here is locked in, and therefore we need to start by prying this top end loose. Now that just very simply pulls off. As you can see, I'm doing this single-handed, so that's just come straight out, straight off like that. That's the trim taken off. That was pretty straightforward. Now there's another screw underneath there. That one needs to come out, and once that's all taken out, the whole lot should pop off. It is fairly hard, so if you've got a tool for that, by all means use that. I don't, so I very carefully pry it open with a bit of plastic that I have, and that's worked in the past. So we'll start off by doing that, so we can take the old speaker out and put the new one in. Okay, so the frame is off. First thing I've done is taken off these two plugs, the one for the mirror adjustment and your window control. So those two cables are taken off, and the total number of screws is 6. There's one either side of the door handle. Yeah. And then we've got one on the back and one right at the bottom of the door. One right here on the side, behind where the handle, the cover is. So, and then of course the one behind the door handle, or the door release. Okay, now we'll go and remove the complete inner door panel. You start from the bottom, got to pry that away and then work your way up, and then the top just lifts up and out. Okay, so we've now taken the door panel off. At the moment that's just hanging on the side. I'll have to try and support that, but the first thing I've had to do is the actual mirror plug. That's that one there, that plugs into the inner. Take that away. You certainly don't want to hang the whole door weight on that. It's got a little button at the top. You push that in and then she'll just slide out of that. Right, that's it. The full installation has been done. We've got the one little tweeter on the left hand side, and then when we go and have a look, we've got the other one in here. Now we're going to turn the music up in a moment and get a first reaction from She Who Must Be Obeyed. So the proof will be in the hearing, I suppose.
Power FM. When tomorrow comes, I'll be on my own, feeling frightened of the things that I don't know. When tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes, tomorrow comes. And though the road is long, I look up to the sky, and in the dark I found lost hope that I won't fly. And I sing along, then I sing along.
How's that sound?
Fantastic.
It's a big difference. So obviously, you know, we've gone for the cheapest option here in just replacing the speakers. Obviously, for those audiophiles who really love their music, you can go absolutely bananas with spending money, put in amplifiers and all sorts of other things. This time I've tried to keep the budget down as low as possible, and I think for $350 spend, it's been well worthwhile. And anyone that knows me, you can come and have a listen to it. For $350, it's certainly a massive improvement on the original. I love my INEOS. I love the four-wheel drive. Sir Jim Radcliffe loves his four-wheel driving, but obviously he's not into his music. And anyone that has listened to the music on the stereo, it is well below par. And thankfully, by separating the Woofer and Tweeter and Midrange, by separating those, it now sort of envelops you completely, and I'm really happy with the money we've spent on this. Anyway, that's another project done. Overall time was about 6 hours, so it did take me quite a bit of time. A lot of figuring out as to how and where would be the best place to fit everything up. But it's certainly something worthwhile doing, and if you're a little bit handy, you can certainly manage to do that at home. If not, then go and get one of the experts to install it. It is worthwhile doing. Cheers guys, to the next project.